the intelligence agencies that are fronting uh, the information gateway so that they will block any news that contradicts the narrative that they want everyone to know is the new narrative. And that new narrative is you can walk blindly just peering into your iPad or your iPhone, and you'll be walking blindly into this new form of prison. And you won't know that it's a prison because our children will be so acclimated to the machinery that they become dependent on that they will never that there will be no more history because you won't have to study history anymore. And the one who is actually doing that is this dude named Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro has been going up against ignorant Negroes who don't know our history and have only studied the twistery. And he's over there acting as a shill to pretend that racism no longer exists, to pretend that systemic racism never existed. But he's not going up against our elders, the ones who know the truth about it. He's going up against these people in colleges, young blacks, and people who don't know, or the ones who's following Black Lives Matter, who don't know S from Shinola about anything having to do with the struggle from the 60s going up here to forward. They circumvent the struggle by bringing a Black Lives Matter to act as a off ramp to fool people to go and follow those people. But they were funded by Bloomberg, they were funded by Soros, by Rothschild, by Rockefeller. You see them building up and living in a big mansion, some $6 million mansion or $1 million mansion that they bought with all of the donations that they got. Okay, so what you're dealing with Elon Musk is if he works for the so-called white knights, it means that he's opening up a conduit of communication. If he takes over, he's firing all those people. He's making it private, and that also is dangerous. But based on where his mind is at and who he's working for, because him and Trump are working together. That's who's actually getting ready to run against Obama. It's Trump against Obama in the 24 election, because it's Obama that's actually pulling the strings of this doddering fool we got there, the occupier of the White House. So Elon Musk is a kind of he's a double agent until I know better.
Indeed. Sorry for the noise, family, on my behalf. Let's get to another question. Like I said, we are, and shout out to Dr. Valentine is getting a lot of love tonight. Somebody, y'all leave in the comments, just sent a financial gift, Dr. Valentine, love and light to you and your wife. They will greatly appreciate that. Shout out to everybody. I'm gonna post this again. Like I said, we're doing a fundraiser for Dr. Valentine tonight. He's being attacked on so many fronts, and I promised the doc years ago I got his back when I first told him about Cash App. So it's my job to now, since the Cash App has been taken, tell y'all to help him out via PayPal now. The brother has been so influential and so helpful during this whole experiment starting in 2020 with the whole Jabberwocky. And you'll know what I'm talking about. They attacked all of us. And the brother has been a tremendous help to the whole community. Yes, so everybody, Apollinia, the $5 gift, he is greatly appreciated. Everything is appreciated. We have over 2,000 people in the building. We are doing a fundraising for the good doctor. All
Thank you.
right, let's get to the next question while we're doing this fundraiser for the good doctor. It's going to be a Q&A, a live Q&A with the people. Aaliyah, I see your question, Aaliyah. The Jabberwocky questions, you have to hit them up on the 1-800 number. We need to support this brother. This show cannot be taken down. Hit him up on the 1-800 number if you have any Jabberwocky questions. Let's get to this question right here. What is he being attacked by the brown anus chakra? I don't even know. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. You gotta be a little better with your questions, man. Come on, family. Don't. I got a master teacher on here. Don't come with that bullshit. Don't do that. All right. What's the science behind ritualistic murders? Why isn't there any blood? What you think about that question, Doc?
I'm not sure how that question is formed for the answer that you might be looking for, but I'll try. As far as ritualistic murders, you got to remember that we're dealing with a a coven of people who are following an old superstitious, uh, I guess, route to power. That is the sacrifice and the use of human blood, which essentially is a liquid crystal that carries a very powerful energy. It carries billions upon billions of life force energies in each cell. So you can, for instance, use the human body as a kind of mixing bullet. You know that thing that you put in there and you shake it up, or it goes up and it mixes together all the fruits to come up with a particular liquid. Well, you could do that with the human being by frightening and causing great fear, especially in children, and have them create that adrenochrome out of the blood. So what you're doing is you're amplifying a lot of the spiritual energy that is inherent within the blood, and then causing those who take partake of that blood to essentially be to experience what it's like to be dead or be outside of the body by drinking it. So you have an understanding of a hyper body experience that is akin to dying, but while you're in the flesh and still alive. So the blood is very important, and it's used in sacrifice because of its power, because it is a crystallized energy, because it's a consciousness unto itself, and because it is melanin, concentrated melanin that has been purified or has been qualified through your own individual consciousness. And it has within it as the root, it has the iron, which is the root, which goes back to the molecule carbon. So all of it is the single hydrogen cell, a hydrogen molecule, hydrogen atom that is qualified into through the melanin, melanin being the expressed intelligence of hydrogen, and then that hydrogen taking on all of the intentions and all of the instructions of your own soul matrix to create your own blood. And of course, you share that particular matrix with other souls, which is why certain blood types have certain consciousness and others don't. And so, certain blood types are actually certain consciousness, um, um, the rotation of the atom, the rotation of where that particular intention lies is all in the blood. So, blood essentially is as again, a liquid crystal, just like you have a quartz, just like you have tourmaline, all these different crystals. These crystals you see that are in the earth, these are the resonating consciousness of the earth. The crystals they dig out are part of the consciousness of the planet, which a lot of people are saying, well, we're not going to be mining any more of those crystals, because essentially what you're doing is you're ripping up the consciousness of the planet. And then when they put the railroads across it, they just screwed up the natural flow of the earth's consciousness energy as it circled with the sun.
Mm,
These lines that are cutting right across it interfere with that consciousness, which also interferes with our connection to the earth.
mm. Let's get to the next question. Baba, do you believe in the parallel universe? If so, who is the most high in those dimensions?
Most High is constant in all dimensions around and through existence. There is there is no place where it is not. And I never say he or she, it is an it. We always say it is raining, it is hot, it is
Mm,
cold.
mm,
Well, when you say it, we are actually talking about God, the one
mm,
most high.
mm,
So the parallel universe is the invisible that precedes the visible. Right now, parallel to you is an invisible realm that is feeding your realm, the realm that we call matter. It that hmm, I want to put you into the higher metaphysics of the frame as we did last time. But as I said to you, time and thought are one. But time essentially uh, conditions itself as the ether, and the ether now conditions itself as the four elements: fire, air, water, and earth. So your thought process essentially has the ability to traverse vibrational envelopes. Those are your parallel universes,
Hmm.
vibrational envelopes that exist right around you. They were telling you, your ancestors were telling you that you don't have to travel off into outer space. You already have the machine. You have the space ship
Mm.
within. It's inner space, not outer space. There is no
Hmm.
outer space. It's an inner space journey.
Hmm.
That inner space journey is the conduit, the journey to the parallel universe. We're so busy looking outside the way that the Vatican wants us to, the way that those who are the mind trickers and the ones who manipulate the illusion in NASA. I'm going to be talking about that on the 5th as well, too. How our consciousness is being manipulated and what that manipulation has now caused us and how they are maintaining that illusion and keeping it in place.
What portals is that, Doc? Doc, you come on. What portals? What are you talking about?
Well, you
Iraq
gotta
and New Mexico. What you talking about, Doc?
well, you gotta remember. I told you how time works.
Hmm.
Time is thought, and once you understand thought, you can actually traverse time. You can actually go into those parallel universes where you go. You see, each one of us are vessels to that particular inner space that not only exists inside of us, but inside of the earth, inside of existence itself. There's everything that you can perceive with your senses is
Hmm.
part of the illusion. That's the cover.
Hmm.
What you don't see and can't see, which
Hmm.
is inaccessible unless you understand how to tweak the body and get it right, that's where you are going when you get into your meditation. And that's the door that opens when your pineal, the
Mm.
first eye, is open. So the portals that we're talking about, these openings that they're messing with, remember I said that time and thought are all one, and I said that if you understand how time and thought works, you can time travel.
Hmm.
Well, remember, all of your thoughts don't go anywhere since it's all energy. And
Hmm.
since energy and thought are the same, then there is no destruction to that. Okay? The reason why they're in control right now is because they have now latched on to the Akashic record
Mm.
that they created through blood and through torture and through pain and through suffering and that type. That's what's right now permeating the Akasha. But it is so, it needs to be consistently fed with terror in order for it to be maintained.
Mm.
So you have to understand that the reason how our ancestors traveled through planes is using the energy that the thought that registers in the Akasha, that particular place now, since thought and time are the same, time traveling to forward because of potential, you go into potential time and then you go into actual time. And actual time is in the past. Time that's how do I call it now? Transient is
Hmm.
present.
Hmm.
Okay, because it's being formulated now. There's no exactitude to what time is now, only what it is that we brought to this moment.
Hmm.
Okay, that's all there is. Whatever we can potentially do based upon the direction that our thought processes are being made to carve out that particular pathway to that event, to that eventuality, that's what they want to do with the new machine. This is what they want to do with AI, to marginalize the thought process of the planet so that it leads the planet and consciousness to where they want the control. But we, you and I, the people who are here, and those of us who know something is wrong, are fighting that by
Mm.
showing to the people that time, space, all these relative things, they are being manipulated by science to
Mm.
make you believe that the mathematical equations that they've put down is somehow the correct measure by which you come into that spiritual space. No,
Mm,
they know that. They
mm,
know that all the mathematical gobbledygook is to maintain the material world. Has nothing to do with the spiritual world.
mm,
Okay, that's what the the ancestors. What's his name? Gatapati. When he was talking, when I think if you saw the first one when we did metaphysical gems, when
mm.
we were speaking about Kaala,
Ka'Allah. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
that science is dealing with thought, time, space, and understanding how they work in relative time as well as in time as an exactitude. I know it sounds a little crazy because I can't bring you to this space where my brain is,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to try to kind of explain around it. But the Akashic records is where all your thoughts are, which means that the timestamp for all of our actions, as well as the timestamp for where humanity is headed, is there, and they've tapped in.
Yeah, fam. This is it. This is it. This is. Listen, man, I get hyped when I hear this. Family, I keep this. This is what I'm into personally, family. When that's why I was so excited when he started talking about this on the Patreon. I'm gonna post the brothers PayPal again. The PayPal is in the chat room right again. I'm gonna post this question, but before he answers this question, okay. So the PayPal is in the chat room again. I just posted it. I'm gonna share it on the screen, but I'm gonna ask this question before I share it on the screen. Dr. Valentine, they want to know what's your thoughts on a fake sun in China, Dr. Valentine.
Yeah, they the sun is it's our food source for the soul.
Mm-hmm.
The sun is what feeds us the natural materials. The sun creates a particular type of material based on the plasma that is in the compression zone we call third density.
Mm-hmm.
What covers us is a field tangent that we call our atmosphere. That field tangent is filled with solar material that we breathe in that becomes the foundational materials, minerals that stoke the electrical component of our life in our bodies. The natural sun feeds us not only on the physical realm, but it feeds to open us up on the metaphysical realm. That's what all that sun gazing is about. We used to do the sun gazing back for a lot of my older students. We were the first ones to do the sun gazing that I remember doing after reading and knowing that our African brothers and our native brothers here, they all did sun gazing. That's old science. And what that did was it used to flush out all of the blocks that are in the chakras. And I used to tell people that one of the ways that they can do a self analysis to find out which one of their chakras are blocked is to do some sun gazing in the early mornings or in the late evenings, do some sun gazing, and when a specific color comes up in your eye, some people get red, yellow, some gets blues, some people get the swims, some people get all these different colors. When it gets a specific color that's predominant, it means that that's where the blockage or the overemphasis of your thoughts are in that chakra. So the sun is a revelator. It is always, when it comes back, that's why it was celebrated. Every religion is a sun religion. Every worship is sun worship. I don't care what you call the God. Allah, Amen, Jesus, Unkulunkulu. All of it is based upon what the Son of God gave us to come into the knowledge of self. And coming into the knowledge of self is connecting us directly to the creator of the self, who then learns of its self through our experiences. So the reason why they're putting up an artificial sun is in order to circumvent and possibly use it as a weapon to go over different countries to dry out the crops, to wipe out their water. You saw it in the first Batman. They had a machine that dried up all the water, evaporated it, and they told you that the military used it. So China is suffering for food. They can't feed 1 billion people. They're suffering for food, which is why they want to buy up the land over here. They need places to grow food in order to feed their people. So I would suggest to everyone that they understand that the artificial sun is going to be used to block out the natural energy waveforms that feed us not only on the physical realm, but on the metaphysical realm, as well as on the chakra realm, because essentially it contains all of the spectrum colors. This artificial sun doesn't contain the spectrum colors. It only contains maybe one or two spectrums. We can possibly break it down. I would like to see what that artificial sun looks like through a prism. What are its emanating energies? Does it emanate the same pure light? Does it give the same kind of healing energies? Does it warm and cause growth? Or is it used as a weapon? Some people say that the Chinese, and well as the certain governments, are talking about the fact that the sun goes inert every 13,000 years, and that the artificial sun is supposed to take over after the so-called real sun dials down and has to be rebooted. Just like they say the moon is supposedly just a ship, a hollow ship. They got you with that one with Halle Berry coming up with that movie, talking about moon something. They're all giving you little bits of the secret.
Mm. Doc, before we get to the next question, listen, fam. Oh, let me put my thing on. Family, we have over 3,000 people. We got about 3,300 people. 3,300 people in here. Listen, I see some of you still asking about Doc's Cash App. His Cash App has been taken from him. He has been banned from several platforms. I've asked in the beginning, and I understand people are just coming in. I've asked everybody in the chat today, everybody, all 3,300 of you, to donate to the doctor, to the elders, PayPal. He doesn't have Cash App. It's been taken from him. Why? You guess it. Guess it for a number of reasons. But I asked that for right now. Before, don't tell me about well he should do this. For right now to support the brother. I asked that everybody, all through over 3,000 of you, to contribute to his PayPal. It's on the screen. Don't tell me no slick shit. I've heard this. I see the slick shit in the comments about Brother Rich. This you listen. All I need y'all to do is to support his PayPal, kemetearth@gmail.com. KEMETEARTH@gmail.com. That's what I would like everybody to do, whether it's $1 or whether it's $1,000, whether it's 5,000. Celebrities watch this channel, whether they want to admit it or not. Some of them admit it, some of them don't. Some of them admit it, some of them don't. Donate 1,000, 5, 10,000, whatever to this brother, not to me. And I wouldn't know, and this brother wouldn't say nothing. But donate to the brother's PayPal right now. He needs the support. This is our elder. We're not gonna wait till he dies and then say, and then wear his face on a t-shirt. We got the Dr. Valentine's face on a t-shirt. I love that brother. You know how we do. I loved him. Oh my God, I would die for him, Doctor. And we ain't gonna do that shit. Oh my God, that nigga Doctor. We're so dramatic. We're so dramatic. We will wear his face on a shirt, but we won't support him. Because support him does not induce dramatic shit. It doesn't get the dopamine flowing in our body. We want that dopamine. So I'm not. If you want dopamine, go somewhere else. We're not. This ain't the place for dopamine, right? If you want your dopamine fix, go. This is not the gossip channel. We're supporting the elder. We're not going to support him with his face on the shirt because that's dopamine. All you're doing is getting dopamine by doing that. But by giving this brother a donation, you know what? You're actually supporting the brother. And that's what matters. KevinEarth@gmail.com. It's on the screen. And I'm also going to share it on the oh no, I got the other link. I'm gonna put it on the link right now. While I do that, Let's get to another question. We got Blue Pill want to say a few words real quick, but not right now. But he's so inspired. He's gonna say a few words to the good doctor. This is a fundraiser for the doc family. I'm clapping it up. This is a fundraiser for an elder while he's alive. Motherfuckers, he ain't dead. He ain't dead. We ain't gotta wait till our elders die while he's alive, family. Come on now. We don't do this shit while he's dead. We do this while he's alive. It's about to be 3,500 people in the building. This man changed the whole paradigm. The whole paradigm is based on what he's talking about. Everything's metaphysical now. Everybody want to talk metaphysical now. Who you think was talking this 30 years ago? So with that being said, family, let's get to the next question. And I thank y'all, all of y'all, for joining us tonight and participating. And I'm just the obnoxious one because Doc is humble and he's laid back. But the youth got to be a little obnoxious for the elders. This is what we have to do for the elders. And when I'm 60, 70, somebody's supposed to be 30, 20, 40 doing this for me. They supposed to be like a little mouse. They supposed to be, that's how we do it.
Indeed.
So that's what I'm doing for the brother. So let's get to the next question. Doc, this is a good one. Is marijuana legalization a distraction? So many brothers happy marijuana is legal. Doc, what you got to say about that?
Well, I don't think it's a distraction. I think it's just it's more of a business opportunity for white people
Mm.
to actually capitalize on something that has been marketed for 1,000 years. Remember, we talked about the story of why it is that it was illegalized, so to speak. It was done by a mogul, a newspaper mogul, who created a myth around marijuana. He used a song, a war song from Pancho Villa, La Cucaracha. Yo no puedo caminar, I believe it, and it had, and down inside of the second line of second verse, it was something had to do with marijuana or mariana. And what happened is, this is William Randolph Hearst, by the way. William Randolph Hearst was a newspaper mogul who had bought up a part of the forest in the northeast, the northwest. And because he had a newspaper, he wanted to corner the market on paper to make newspapers. So what he did was, at that time, there was also the use of hemp to make paper, but it also made hundreds of other things too: clothing, hats, houses. It was used as, when you see the word cannabis sativa, the word sativa means helpful to humanity, and we've used it so many different ways that because the hemp industry was a challenge and a competition, he started journalism. He was the first one to start yellow journalism. In other words, creating and using gossip as news. And so he put out the gossip that this was a devil weed, something that actually mellows you down, whereas alcohol gets you crazy. They switched that up. So marijuana was then now made unlawful, all because of William Randolph Hearst. And now it's coming back because the United States is in dire need of an economy. And if you notice, we have so many of our brothers and sisters in jail for selling this, whereas now whites can actually petition and get licenses to promote it as a medicinal. Where are the brothers who essentially opened up a market amongst us that can actually now grow their own, have the land, because we don't own land? We may have some in Jamaica, but we can't export and import. So know that, yes, it could be a distraction and a legalization, but who's going to benefit from it? Because the illegalization of it sure didn't have us benefiting from it. But the legalization now has whites benefiting from it more than ever before now. They've given them an underground economy that they brought to the surface, and they've gotten very sophisticated with it. So if it's a distraction, possibly. But I know that it was always a way to criminalize a certain section of society, just as they criminalized crack over cocaine, and they put us away with um, far stringent measures and times for just these little crack cocaine that they made. All of it being a plan to make sure that we stay in our place, which is why it's necessary for us to understand what it is to be in this society and to be under their corporate structure with your all capitalized letter name. If for all of you all who are into the Bible, come out of Babylon, as the Rastas say. Get yourself a UCC or
Mm-hmm.
find your autochthonous identity and get out of it, because the United States is bankrupt, and those who are holding on to those bonds with all capital letter names, those are the ones they're going to come after.
Mm-hmm. Next question, Doc. What's good for protein? Good question.
Protein is made from the combination of foods that create amino acids. Amino acids are what create the protein, the food. I mean, create the proteins that you need. And they're the ones, the amino acids are actually what are like little crystals that station themselves along the DNA. This is why it's so important for you to have the proper amount of food, the type of live foods that actually create the proper combinations that bring together to create the what we call the complex proteins. These only take place when you're eating the proper foods. And so, if you're eating the proper foods, drinking pure water, and staying away from the sugar and the salts and these things, then your body can then deal with creating these amino acids, getting the amino acids from your digestive process, and then they combining together to create the complex proteins that you need. You don't need to eat a protein in order to create a protein. You don't eat a cow in order for you to get the protein from the cow, because the protein you're eating is specialized protein. It may act to stimulate a protein response in you, but it is robbing you of essential vital force that is taking away the energy that you would need to create those proper amino acids to create the proper complex proteins.
Indeed. Blue Pill, I seen you try to log in. You're gonna have to try again. For some reason, your audio and video did not connect, Blue. So, Blue, if you could hear me right now, try to log in again so we could get that going on. Um, yeah, I don't think he knows about this, but people keep asking this. They want to know, what do you know about Bobby Hemming? They want to know, is
I've been waiting for some kind of call from Linda, who was his wife at that time. I'm not sure what's going on. I do know that good brother um, Panic was the closest to him, because he was Bobby's acolyte, and I'm not sure what's going on. Um, I don't have Linda's number. I've been asking around for people to give me some kind of information that would get me there. Thank you, Brother Carlos. Um, what happens is that I've been trying to get in contact with him. I wanted to help him, or maybe give a little bit of my finances over to him to help him out. But nobody's been getting in contact with him. Even Brother Panic says he can't get in contact with him anymore.
Mhm.
So I'm sorry, I don't have much to report on it. I wish I did, sincerely, because I
Mhm.
love that brother, and he was one of our fallen soldiers, one of our more powerful soldiers. We were back to back, side by side in the beginning, and
Man,
we wreaked hell on the establishment. And it's so sad to see a good soldier like that taken out of the battle, because we need him now.
indeed. I remember that era. That era was unbelievable.